Okay, so one of the best things you can do to improve the performance of your fishing reel is swap the factory drags, which are usually just like a synthetic or an oil-soaked felt drag washer, for carbon fiber or carbontex as we call it material. Carbontex is so much stronger, so much more able to handle hot temperature, and it just stays smoother longer. It just works beautifully with the side-by-side stainless steel drag washers that come in a fishing reel. Let's run through what gear you need to do it yourself. And let me tell you something, I am hopeless at anything mechanical. Seriously, I can barely change a light bulb. I've only ever done this once before, so by no means am I an expert. But that may be good, because if you're a bit nervous about doing it, this will be a good how-to. Okay, so first of all, the gear you're going to need. You're going to need a power drill. You'll need an old pair of braid scissors to cut out the washers. A little bulldog clip is handy to hold your sample washer onto the sheet of carbontex. A probe or a mini screwdriver just sometimes to scrape the drag washers carefully out of the reel itself. A file so that you can file the edge of the carbontex washer after you cut it out and get it nice and smooth. Some drag grease. Look, you can get it from anywhere. Any tackle store has this stuff. Sometimes we can send it out by mail, but in Australia only, because of course it's difficult to send liquids by mail overseas. But sometimes we can send it out in Australia as well. Of course, your reel, in this case we're going to use a Daiwa 4500T, one of our most popular reels. And last but not least, just an old cloth to wipe all the muck and dirt off. So let's get into it. First of all, if you place an order with us for 20 bucks, you'll end up with an envelope coming in your mailbox. Open that up, and inside you have got a sheet of carbontex. It doesn't look like much. It's about the size of a DL envelope, obviously a business envelope, and it's got cross hatchings on it which may or may not be able to be viewed on this video. Those cross hatchings are very important because of course it's in the little gaps and channels, tiny little gaps and channels of those that you're going to retain the grease, your drag grease. So let's get into it. First of all, grab your reel. We're going to undo the drag, starting with the knob, remove the spool, grab the little probe I mentioned previously, and in the case of this one, pop out the little circlip which holds the drag in. There's the washers. We want to keep them obviously in order, so let's make sure that happens. So there they are. In the case of the 4500T, there is only 5 washers. So we have got 3 carbontex, or 3, well, there will be 3 carbontex. We've got 3 fibre washers and 3 stainless steel washers. Let's keep those in the original order, and take a note, if you can see it on the vid, that the middle steel washer is keyed for alignment. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to peel off the washer that was closest to the reel, and use that as a template for cutting another washer. So I'm going to grab a sheet of carbontex that came in the mail, push it up to the corner. Now it's important, it's not always able to do it when you're starting out and you're a bit rough and ready, but if you can do it, try to maximize the amount of drag washers you can get from one sheet of carbontex. We have these clients that go up to Karumba every year fishing. There's a bunch of guys that have themselves an absolute ball of lucky dogs, and these guys, before they go each year, they redo all the drags in all the reels before they go, so everything's perfect when they get up to this fishing paradise they go to. What they do is they try to get maximum value, which is what you want, and they usually get around 7 reels out of each sheet of carbontex. So that's the way to do it, go if you can do it. So we're going to start by drilling first hole. Obviously you'll need to get your drill bits and try them on the washer. Here we go. Okay, done. A little bit messy. That's okay. And actually we'll leave that on there. And what we're going to do now is we've cut the center hole. And what we're going to do now is we're going to cut the outer circle. So here we go. Just come across here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Now keep in mind, of course, that this can be pretty rough on a pair of braid scissors. So don't use your bestest ones. Just use them. Most guys, I know I have some old ones. Okay, we're going to open it up. Open up the bulldog clip. We're going to cut. The part that was covered by the bulldog clip. Now, seriously, if it's a bit rough and ready, if you haven't got a perfect circle, don't worry about it. It'll have no effect on your drag performance whatsoever. The improvement of carbontex is so spectacular in your drag, making it so smooth, especially under load, that you don't need to worry about whether it's a bit undersized and whether it's a bit rough. One thing that does help is to file the rough edges off. I'm just going to pick up a file here, give our U-drag washer a bit of a rub down inside the hole too, and generally clean it up. I'm not going to spend too much time because I don't want this video to go over time. Okay, so there's our washer, which I must admit does look a little rough and ready, but that's okay. As long as it fits inside the spool, it's going to be okay. And trim it up, sand it down, but I won't take too much time on that, otherwise the video will go over time. So what I'm going to do now is grab some drag grease, open up our little jar. This is the good stuff. Grab a piece of corner of the rag and put a little drag grease on the cloth, and obviously apply it. You can use a toothbrush, you can use just about anything for this caper. Basically what you are doing is you are filling up all the little channels in the cross hatching of the drag washer with grease, like so. And then once that is done, okay, I've gone a bit over the top, but that's cool. Once that is done, wipe it all off. The grease itself will stay. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but the grease is right there in the channels, in the little gaps, and that's where you want it. So in this case, we're going to do 3 of those, and then reassemble the drag and put it back in the reel. It doesn't take long. It's like a 5 or 10 minute job, and if you haven't tried it before, it's nothing short of incredible, the improvement in drag performance. In the old days, I remember if you ever, came home tired from a fishing trip and left your fishing reel with the drag cranked up, you could get some flat spots in there and the drag would be immediately jerky. That's with the old material. Carbontex is so hard, it doesn't matter. So give it a try. It's not complicated. I know you're going to be pleased with the results. And if you have any questions whatsoever, send me an email or give me a buzz. Thanks for viewing.